In this video, I am going to be talking about Project 2025. This is a presidential transition project, mainly if Donald Trump gets back in office. This is what the Republicans and the conservatives want to do, the things that they want to have happen. So it's called 2025 Mandate for Leadership, the Conservative Promise. These are the so if you're not a Democrat, pay attention to what they want to do if Donald Trump gets back in office. What are the things they want to try to implement if Donald Trump is put back in office? You can vote for whoever you want to, but I'm just letting you know what some of the consequences may be. So, this is not even everything. This is just some of the big stuff I highlighted. This is just a summary of some of the big stuff. Everything that they're trying to do, I didn't list on here, but this is the summary of it. Remember, Project 2025, the Conservative Promise. That's what they've named, the Conservative Promise. They want to recognize this America as a Christian nation. So if you anything but Christian, forget about it. They want to place executive branch order directly under presidential control, meaning everything will bypass Congress and it's up to Donald Trump if he gets reelected. He makes the decisions. They want to cut the funding for the Department of Justice. They want to eliminate the FBI, eliminate the Department of Homeland Security. They want to end the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission. They want to end the Department of Education. They want to seek and criminalize pornography, so no more pornography. They want to remove protection against this. They want to remove protection discrimination against any institution involving diversity, equity, inclusion, or DEI in affirmative action. They want to eliminate insurance coverage for the morning after pill, no abortions. They want no congressional approval needed for the sale of ammunition to foreign nations. So basically, if they want to give other countries weapons, they decide. No more. They don't need approval from Congress anymore. So if they want to give Russia weapons, they can do that. And last, they want to eliminate any program that's trying to forgive student loans. So I'm going to go in detail about some of these, not all of them, but the main ones I'm going to go in detail about. So again, they want to make America a Christian nation. So right now, Christian basically is comprised of Protestants, Baptists, Catholics, Mormon, anybody who believes Jesus Christ. That's what a Christian is. Right now, currently 71% of the United States people, United States citizens identify as Christians. So if you go by majority, it's really already kind of considered a Christian nation, even though other people believe in other religions. For the non-Christian religions, like Jewish, Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, those make up 6% of the population. And then surprisingly, 23% don't believe in any religion. So those, or they don't believe in or God. That's like atheists, agnostics, or they just don't believe in anything. That's 23% of the population, which is actually, I thought Jewish people and Buddhists and Muslims would be higher. Anyway, what is the Department of Justice and why do they want to get rid of it? The purpose of the Department of Justice is to uphold the rule of law, to keep our country safe, and to protect civil rights. Now, when all this stuff was going on in Minnesota with like George Floyd, after he was killed by Derek Chauvin, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit about how he OD'd and all that. People keep spreading that fake medical report around on Twitter, and they only show page 2. They don't show page 1. But anyway, all of these people keep saying, oh man, if you're a criminal, you should be in trouble, all that. But once Donald Trump got tried, once they put all those felonies on Donald Trump, when everybody else was saying, We need to defund the police, defund the FBI. They call people crazy. But soon as Donald Trump got put on trial for stuff, then you heard all the MAGA people saying, well, they need to defund the Department of Justice, defund the FBI, defund the police, when they stormed the Capitol, when those people stormed the Capitol, I don't want to hear that bullshit about, oh, well, people, those weren't MAGA supporters, those were Democrats. If those were Democrats, why did Donald Trump say the first thing he would do if he was reelected, he would get those people out of jail? Why would he get the Democrats out of jail? That doesn't make sense. And if those were Democrats, why did Donald Trump say, oh, it's the shame of what they did to those people on January 6th? Why would he say that if they were really Democrats? Anyway, now all of a sudden they're saying defund the police and get rid of the FBI, get rid of the Department of Justice. The purpose of the FBI is to protect the United States from terrorist attack against foreign intelligence, espionage, cyber operations, combat significant cyber criminal activity, combat public corruption at all levels, protect civil rights, transnational criminal enterprise and organized crime, combat significant violent crimes, and to combat significant white-collar crime. So that's the purpose of the FBI. And they want to get rid of that. They want to defund the FBI, get rid of it. Then you get to the Department of Homeland Security. The purpose of the Department of Homeland Security is to counter terrorism and the homeland. Security threats, secure the border, secure U.S. border and approaches, secure cyberspace and critical infrastructure, and preserve and uphold the nation's prosperity and economic security. People keep talking about, oh, well, Joe Biden's not doing anything. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. I don't care. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like either one of them. I've already said for years, old people shouldn't be president. I feel like if 60 should be the cutoff age, if you're over 59, you should not even be allowed to run for president. But anyway, why they keep saying the crisis at the border, Joe Biden is not doing anything about the crisis at the border, but they never talk about how Democrats tried to pass something that was going to help at the border, but the conservatives rejected it, and they said they didn't want to sign it, and some of them said they didn't want to sign it until after the election because they actually think Donald Trump is going to be reelected, and they didn't want to sign it before because they didn't want to give Joe. It's a if you don't believe me, you think I'm lying, you think it's fake news, you can go look it up. It was a congressman who was caught on tape saying he's not signing any bill that's going to help secure the border while Joe Biden is president because he does not want to give Joe Biden credit for anything. He does not want to help Joe Biden's approval rating. If you think I'm lying, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people go hear this and say, oh, that's fake news, that didn't really happen, look it up. If you think I'm lying, look it up. I would put the video, I don't know if I can put the video in here because it might be like copyright. I'll try to put the video in here. If you think I'm lying, I'll try to put the video in here.
Want to talk about a wall? You're talking to a wall. They're a wall. They don't want to help kids. By the way, they don't want to solve this issue either. Don't listen to me. Just listen to the speaker, who was caught on a call the other day saying that we can't solve the border crisis until after the election. By the way, here's Congressman Troy Niels giving it all away. Giving it all away. Let's read this. Let me tell you, I'm not willing to do a darn thing right now to help a Democrat, to help Joe Biden's approval rating. I will not help the Democrats try to improve this man's dismal approval ratings. I'm not going to do it. He's saying he's not going to do anything on the border. And he's from Texas, which needs help. He's not going to do anything because he doesn't want to give Joe Biden a win. You have members of this committee that have threatened to vacate the speaker again if they do anything on the border. They're doing what people hate about this place. They want to use it to raise money. They want to use it to politicize it, but they don't want to solve the issue. There's a deal on the table. They can solve the issue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You want to talk about a wall?
Then we get to the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. The purpose of the FCC is to regulate interstate and international communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories promoting competition and innovation and investment in broadband services and facilities, revising media regulations so the new technologies flourish along diversity and localism. So basically, they want to be able to put what they want to be able to put on TV and radio. That's basically what it seems like it boils down to. If you want to get rid of the FCC, it sounds like you only want to put out the stuff that you want people to hear. You don't care about other people's views. You want to put your stuff out, and to hell with everybody else. That's what it seems like when they say you want to end the FCC. That's what it sounds like. Then this is the one right here. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, protect the job of the FTC is protecting the public from deceptive or unfair business practices and from unfair methods of competition through law enforcement, advocacy, research, and education. Its job is to promote a free and competitive marketplace by challenging anti-competitive mergers and business practices. They trying to do a whole bunch of shady, basically they trying to do a whole bunch of shady stuff with other countries. If you're trying to end this, it seemed like you're trying to do some illegal stuff. But if you end it, it wouldn't really be illegal anymore if you do that. Because remember, Donald Trump is all about business. He's a businessman. So of course, you want to end, you would just like now he's talking about we're gonna pay tariffs and the income. They tried that that's what helped. They didn't help with the depression. But hey, you want to try that if you want, because all these that'd be great. Income tax. Who you think pay tariffs? The United States citizens. But anyway, now the Department of Education. This is the education of children here. Their purpose to establish a policy for administers and coordinates most federal assistance to education, ensuring access to equal educational opportunity for every individual. Its mission is to serve America's students to promote student achievement and preparation for global competitiveness. They want to get rid of the Department of Education. But he already told you he won with the poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. So that makes sense that they want to get rid of the Department of Education. And I know some people, well, that's because they're trying to trend stuff. They're trying to look here. I was in the school system for multiple years, and I never seen anybody try to teach some kid, you should be gay or you should be trans. I've never met a teacher trying to do that. So I don't know where all that is coming from when you always hear these MAGA people talk about that. I was in the education school system for over 10 years, and I never heard any of that. But anyway, next thing. They want to criminalize and end pornography. Pornography has been in books since the 1700s. It's been in movies dating all the way back to the 60s. Now, all of a sudden, they want to get rid of pornography. Already in Texas, they made it to where you got to prove. So I guess they're trying to make it to where they think now, porn has been around for all these years. Now, all of a sudden, they think, well, kids shouldn't be watching it. Look, let me tell you something about kids. If kids want to do something, they'll find a way to do it. Kids weren't supposed to be smoking and drinking beer and all that, and smoking weed and cigarettes. But guess what kids did? They found a way to do it. So even if, because right now in Texas, it's like for some porn sites, they made it to where you have to prove your age and all that. But it's always a way around, and people always will find a way around things. But speaking of ending pornography, their president is the one who had sex with a porn star. And it was allegedly unprotected sex, which leads me to the next one. No abortion and no insurance coverage for the morning after pill. So let's be honest here. I want everybody to be honest, no matter you're Democrat, Republican, whatever. How many of those MAGA people in Congress do you think are faithful to their partners? Whether it's men or women. How many do you think are faithful to their partners that they've never cheated on them? They're supposedly so religious. Donald Trump supposedly so religious, but he cheated on his multiple wives. How many do you think have paid for abortions? Because remember when Herschel Walker was running for what, senator, governor, or whatever in Georgia, it came up that he paid one of his ex-girlfriends or wives or somebody to have an abortion. He wrote a check for an abortion, but I thought they were against abortion. So how many of those congressmen do you think have cheated on their wives with their secretaries or mistress or something and got them pregnant and had to pay for an abortion or the morning after pill? Do you think it's 0%? Like, be honest here again, no matter if you're Democrat or Republican. Do you really think that number is 0%? Do you think all those people in Congress are faithful to their girlfriends, wives, husbands, boyfriends? Yes or no? Be honest. Last, we're going to talk about affirmative action and diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, before you even start on it, you have to ask this question. Why was affirmative action even made? What was the point of affirmative action? Well, the purpose of affirmative action was, it was an effort to improve employment or educational opportunities for members of minority groups based on race, disability, gender, ethnic origin, and age. But again, you have to ask yourself, why was that even needed? It's because racist people decided to judge people on how they looked. They did not want to play on an even playing field. So they took it upon themselves to judge people. Well, you don't look like me, so you're not welcome in. So it got so bad and people started revolting against that to where they this is like, basically what they're trying to do is go back to like the 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is why when I see all these black people talking about some blacks for Trump and these Hispanic people talking about some Hispanics or Latinos for Trump and all that, do you not realize what they're trying to do? They're trying to make it to where in a realistic ideal world, yes, it should always go by the best person for the job. But when you have narrow-minded people who only believe people who look like them are the best for the job, just look at all the people who was on Donald Trump's team. It was no diverse. So you telling me all the millions of black and Hispanic and Asian people in America, none of them were qualified to be on Donald Trump's in his administration? Other than Ben Carson, one person. That's what y'all really telling me when y'all always say, well, it should be based on the best person for the job. So you really telling me millions of black people, none of them qualified. Millions of Hispanic people, none of them qualified. Millions of Asian people, none of them qualified. Only people who qualified was white people. That's what you really trying to tell me? Even in these colleges, well, it got to the point to where minorities blaming other minorities. You had Asian people saying, well, they didn't get it in college because of affirmative action. They let too many black people in. They didn't say anything about the white students who were only there because they were legacy students, because their dads and moms and grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents went to the school and they were let in because of that. They automatically assume, well, black people are not smart enough to get in Harvard. They're not smart enough to get into Yale. They're not smart enough to get into Cornell. So, but again, if everything was on an equal playing field, black people, if everything was on an even playing field, you would have way more black millionaires than you do now. And it would be far less white people in baseball Hall of Fame, basketball Hall of Fame, football Hall of Fame. But when you already got like 20, 30 year head start on everybody, of course you're going to be richer and have more power. Put it like this. If it's a team full of boys and a girl wanted to play, what's the chances you think that girl is going to get on the team if everybody else on the team is a boy? So you need other girls on that team so that girl has a chance to even try to get on the team. If it's a team of nothing but boys, realistically, how many of those boys gonna say, yeah, let's let her play too? And that's what affirmative action was. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of that so they can discriminate against people and say, well, you're just not good enough. And then ironically, the only people who were good enough happen to be white people. Like that. And like, you can say, oh, it's not about that. Prove me wrong. Then again, you telling me out of the millions black and Hispanic and Asian people, none of those people were good enough to be in Trump's administration the first time, only Ben Carson? Look at the picture of all of Trump's people and look how white all of those faces are. So you telling me no minority group was good enough to be in that organization, that administration? Like, let's be real here. Let's be honest. But I'm just making this, again, there's way more stuff in Project 2025. But I just wanted to highlight the big stuff. So for all those blacks for Trump, Latinos for Trump, Asians for Trump, sit back and do your own research on it and pay attention. Because all your freedoms and all that are going to go away if they reelect Donald Trump in November. I don't like Joe Biden, but none of this stuff would be happening under Joe Biden. So you can keep doing, black for Trump. You can do that shit if you want to. Cause you go be in a lot of trouble if they start being able to pass this stuff if Donald Trump is reelected in 2025. But hey, you make your own decision. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment. More videos coming soon. Trey T out. Peace.